Hi everyone, welcome to Juggernaut Athletics and Aesthetics. Buddy Lovell here. Today we're going to be going over 2 exercises you could add into your routines that are long forgotten exercises. People don't use them as much anymore. Simple dips and pull-ups. These should not be thrown into the category of regular calisthenic exercises with a lot of others. These are very demanding. They're much more akin to strength training exercises, and what we see is a hell of a lot of a good improvement in arm size, arm strength, back, and chest strength and size as well when we include these into people's programs. For a lot of young men, a lot of guys in particular, it's a really easy way to increase arm size dramatically very quickly. A lot of times with bench press, a lot of times with these other horizontal row type movements, we end up favoring the back and the chest so much that the arms could essentially start to get left behind. So anyway, basic movements, forgotten but basic. We're gonna go ahead and go over the form, go over some details. Let's go and get started. All right, here we are at the dip station. Real simple stuff, guys. Just a few cues to dips. When you get up on a station like this, when you go ahead and of course just walk yourself up, don't try and hop up from the bottom. From here, you do want to hop up though, all right? So if you give yourself a little bit of pop, feel free to bend your knees a little bit, you use a little bit of your calves, but you're gonna hop up to a straight arm position. Once you're there, you wanna go ahead, you cross your legs to get a little bit more chest engagement out of the whole thing, but you're gonna slowly descend, going for a 90-degree bend in your elbows, get your upper arms parallel to the floor. So this might be really deep for some of you, but try your very best. If you need to, you can do a little bit of short range of motion until you build up to that point, but real simple. Lock out the elbows, upper arms parallel, and again, keep those legs angled back and crossed if you want to get a little bit more chest out of it. You can keep your legs straight up and down, and you can do more of an arm dominant version. You'll see this all around. I'm just gonna let you know, that's gonna put a hell of a lot of stress on a lot of your shoulders. So unless you've got really good shoulders, if you could go and shoulder press, 70-pound dumbbells plus for some reps, maybe you could do that. But that's real general for a lot of your different weights. But take your time, be a little bit careful with that, and start by crossing your legs behind your back. But real simple, try and go for parallel. I want to briefly go over what I mentioned before, using a band for assistance on the dips. So again, I'm saying dips is such a great exercise. Plenty of you are not going to be able to do it fully yet. So what you want to do, you want to be simple, cheap loop bands. All right, you get these anywhere. Of course, the thickness is going to represent the actual amount of assistance you'll get here. So right now we're using a medium to a light style one. But from here, just want to simply loop this thing over both handles on the dip station. The hardest part is getting yourself over the band. So step up onto this, and then you can do one leg at a time. If you're able to give yourself a little bit of a push here, you can help hop that other knee up. You might have to kind of fight it a little bit. Once you're in there, you're in there. And then slowly dip down, get at least that 90-degree bend in the elbows, what you think is 90. Press up, lock, and then slowly back and forth. And again, over time, you might get to the point where you can finally eventually take this thing out. And before then, you might start using lighter bands, working up to that point. But the idea is you don't want to skip dips just because you can't do dips. Get a loop band, get some out of it. All right, so I wanted to show you a few different variations here with the pull-ups, mainly with these wide grip positions, whether your hands are supinated like Brandon's are right now or pronated like they'll be in a moment. The idea is to get a little bit more engagement out of the upper and mid areas of the back, a little bit more rear delts, a little bit more rhomboids than you'd get in that narrow stance position with your hands. Here we go. And again, back to a pronated position with the hands. This is more of a true pull-up position. We like this because it's going to get a lot more firing out of the brachialis muscles in the arms. And again, there's a good amount of rear delt and mid to upper back here. You're actually going to hit your mid traps and your rhomboids pretty decently, as opposed to the next version. This next version you're about to see is going to be a lot more lat and arm focused. Here we go. Personal favorite of mine. So with this one, again, depending on how you do it, you could favor more the lats of the arms. Brandon's going to be doing a version here that uses both fairly evenly. Good. Maybe a little arm dominant, but still heavily relying on the lats here. All right, here we are back at the pull-up bar. Right now, we're gonna go over how to actually do pull-ups if you can't do pull-ups. So, when you go ahead and consider getting one of these loop bands, again, we did the same thing with the dips, but this what we're gonna do, just simply throw this over the top, loop it right through itself, and then cinch it down. So now, the reason to do these still is, there's lots of pull-down stations, there's cable pull-downs, they're very popular. It's not the same biomechanics as a pull-up. It's not gonna build the same type of strength. I prefer you get on a pull-up assist machine rather than that. But anyway, so we're doing this thing. First things first, it's gonna be a little bit hard to get up in the band here. That's the most challenging part. So you wanna grab up nice and high, pull down. You can even let your hands slide down a little bit, but you wanna try and get this all the way to a low position where you can get your foot inside here. You can then stomp your foot down, keep it pressed down to the floor, grab on the bar, whatever style pull-up you're going for here, and then keep that leg straight. Pull up high as you possibly can, slow stretch down. And of course, the higher up you get, the more assistance you got. So just really go for it here, get what you can out of it. If you really can't go anywhere here, you're just gonna need a heavier band. Now, when you actually come out of this thing, grab this, take some tension off the top, slowly bring that leg up. Now, Slightly easier version, you know, you're not gonna be the most stable on this version, but if you need help setting up, you can bring this down, tuck one knee into this, and then you can do the same thing. So just with one knee, and of course you can do both knees obviously. I'm trying to show a version that's a little bit easier. But one knee in here, go ahead, hands on the pull-up bar, full pull-up, slow stretch down. There we go. And then again, take some tension off the top before you bring your knee out of it either way. Feel free to put both feet, both knees in. This is the quick and easier version for those of you who feel like you might lose your balance, but you can of course go ahead and slide them both into there. All right everyone, thanks for dropping by. Real simple subject today. Again, just dips, pull-ups, a couple major things you could add in that most people don't that could be really effective for you. There's a lot of you that are probably looking for a hell of a lot more, you know, general overall advice. You know, we're gonna be going over a lot more overall programs, full workouts, you know, a little bit more overall encompassing ideas of how you should handle fitness, how you should handle your workouts in general. So this is some real specific stuff. We're gonna start to broaden out some of our subjects over the next few pieces of videos we put out. So anyway, thank you guys for coming by. If you like what we're doing, like and subscribe, and expect a lot more soon. All right, thank you very much.